Alright, how's it going everyone? Just got back from Australia, about 5 weeks there, had a really good trip. But so stoked to be home. Just came out to the property, it's about 7 in the morning and we're waking up really early this morning. I'm still on Australian time. But came up and it looks like the snow is pretty much mostly gone. There's this little patch of snow here, but for the most part it's melted out. I was able to drive straight up, which I've never really done it this time of year before. So a lot of my friends back home were asking me all about the property, and I figured that it's probably time that I just start documenting everything I'm doing up here. For the last 5-6 years I have been building a lot of jumps, and I'm kind of getting into a place now where the line's close to being rideable top to bottom. So today I'm going to show you guys all about it. Alright, so I'm just standing on top of this big wooden jump landing thing I've built. It's pretty hard to kind of show you what it is from up here, but I just wanted to show you the view before I get stuck into the jumps. So eventually I'm going to build my house in this forest, and then it's going to overlook this view down here into the valley. It looks like, unfortunately, the snow has taken, kind of done its damage to this thing. Still have to fix that, but it looks pretty easy. But this is a drop, more for snowboarding. Drop off there, landing in this valley. But yeah, obviously got to do some work to that now. But everything else is looking pretty good. It looks like that berm's held up really well. Just really, really excited. Really stoked to be back. Yeah, so this is the big wooden drop. Looks like just that middle support's come out. That actually looks like a pretty easy fix. I should just be able to jack that up. This landing takeoff's looking really good. So we'll come up here, I'll start at the top of the line and work our way down. A little bit of snow on the bottom, kind of to be expected. The jump itself looks really good, like it's handled this weather really well. So I probably built this thing 3 years ago, so it's fully kind of packed in now. It's working really well. With some of the other stuff, it's pretty fresh, so I'm expecting it not to hold up as well over the winter, but this is looking amazing. Alright, so I'm up here now on the top of the line. Kind of starts off on this rock feature, but you can start right here, roll down this. Usually I'm brakes off by about kind of where I'm standing now. That seems to just be the perfect speed. Brings you straight down to this step down. The landing's kind of like where my finger is. Just like a really fun jump to start the line. So yeah, it's just a nice little step down. Probably only like 15 to 20 feet maybe. I've never really measured anything, but I guess it's about 15 feet. Obviously this patch of snow will be gone pretty soon. But that brings you into this. This is where everything gets pretty awesome. So I'm going to build this up a bit, but this is actually a shark fin. Takes you up here, land right where I am now into this transition, into this jump, and that's what I was standing on before. So yeah, I mean, probably like a 6 foot high takeoff into this structure. So I built this structure about 3 summers ago. I didn't get to finish it, and then the first winter it failed on me, and I was just too busy to get it fixed. But last summer I got it fixed, and I added some extra supports. Basically this lower wall down there that you can see, I've got the actual lumber that I built that out of similar to this, and that failed and that collapsed inwards, and then I had to fix it. So basically then we had to jack everything up, rebuild this wall, pull it over, and now we're good to go. But this landing is absolutely massive. And I'm really excited to finally ride it. Last year, after I finished fixing everything, I did have this full of dirt. I was ready to go, which I'll show you guys a photo of now. When I finished it, I thought about going up and hitting it, but I was too tired. I would give it a day or two to pack in. And then the next day we had 60 mil of rain and it washed the whole thing away. And I came up here a couple of days after that, and obviously I was just devastated to see it like that. So then I figured if I went and put a bunch of lumber going across, should hold all the dirt up there. So I haven't finished fully packing this in, or getting all the dirt back up, but that's kind of the priority number one, is to get this jump rolling, because the speed after this dictates basically everything else. So finish that into this berm, which is held up really well. Like, I'm gonna obviously come through and clean all this up, but it's just looking amazing. So yeah, this berm will just be all about carrying speed and heading straight this way up into this jump. Eventually this forest up in here will be where the house will get built, and you'll drive straight into a garage here. So this will be kind of where the driveway crosses the jump line, but I'm going to set the house in quite a bit, so I don't think it's going to be a hazard. And basically whenever we're hitting jumps, I'll just have to let everyone know they're not going to the driveway, because you'll be flying when you come around here. So this pile of dirt I got put here last year, but it's not big enough. But the plan with this is to eventually build a wooden takeoff that'll probably take you off somewhere around here, and then it's going to be a bit of a step up. Bit of snow around here, but yeah, this landing needs to be about 3 or 4 foot higher. So I'm going to get the machine back in hopefully pretty soon, come in and take all the dirt from kind of where the snow is and just build this up a lot higher, maybe even make it lower in here, just so it's got a way better landing. Like at the moment it's only got like a 5 foot high landing. With the speed coming into this, it needs to be a hell of a lot bigger than that. But yeah, you'll land that thing, should be pretty fun. Come around this, and I think this berm will be more of like a reset berm. It'll be just to like, we have a little minute to chill, and then come straight into this line. So this is, I call this part the driveway line, and I have been hitting this jump from, and just starting up here, just rolling into it this way, and it works amazing. It's a super fun little part. But yeah, it's like a little step down from here into this, which goes into these 2 step downs. There's a smaller one and a bigger one, and yeah, honestly, like one of the reasons why this line is taking me so long to build, like I've been building it for 6 years now, it's just because I'm super stubborn, and I kind of at the start basically didn't want there to be machines up here. I wanted to do it all by hand, and that just isn't realistic, I've come to kind of realize. So you'll see here how it's so wide now. I'll show you guys some photos, because I originally dug this whole thing out by hand, and this gully that you're seeing now, that took me about 15 hours, and then eventually it all worked really well, and then I just like bit the bullet and got a machine up here, and he did the rest of it, made it that wide in like an hour and a half. So absolute no-brainer that if I'm going to try and build them as big as I am, that I need to use machines. And then yeah, so this is all a bit weird, but you can see there near my truck, I got the well dug last year. This was like a massive stress because you have no idea how deep they've got to go for water, and you basically pay per foot they go down, and you just keep paying until they hit water. But I was pretty lucky, they hit water at about 130 feet, and then the whole well went to about, I think it's 267 feet is their final depth they went. But we've got 11 gallons a minute of water, which is a crazy amount of water. Should be enough that I could have sprinklers running all the time in the summertime when we're at the high fire risk, and I'll be able to water the jumps and obviously be able to drink this water. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. But all of this gray stuff is what came out of the well. It's just like the rock that they were drilling up, and the boys were actually spraying it all onto this jump. So I kind of at the time just raked it all out, and it's got this, it's pretty hard surface, but I don't really like the look of it compared to dirt. I think dirt looks way better. So I'll probably pack this in and just make sure the jump works good. It's obviously gotten a little bit bigger than what it was, but it could still be a lot bigger again. So I'm totally okay with putting more dirt on this and just building this up and making the lip a little bit bigger. Yeah, and then there's obviously this smaller one right next to it. So the first thing I did up here about 6 years ago, jump wise, was build this berm, and that took so long. It literally was like the thing I did that summer was build this berm, as well as kind of cleaning up the property a little bit. And soon realized that this jump was too small. The speed coming out of this, we were just landing way too deep. And then I got my property surveyed, and it turned out I had about an extra acre than I originally thought I was buying. And it went back there about 50 more feet, or maybe 100 more feet. So ended up getting super lucky. I kind of thought that this berm was on the edge of my property, and then after the survey it worked out really well, and the property boundary is actually past that snow. So yeah, it was a massive win. I got super lucky there. But yeah, so I'm still going to leave this berm here because it's kind of nice for some people to come and warm up if they do want to hit this. It's just nice to have more options. Yeah, so coming down here, so you got that step down. The sweet spot is roughly about here, but I think I want to make this landing way wider as well, like push it out here, take a couple of these trees out and just make it way wider, so eventually you're further away from the driveway. Because my driveway, you know, it's pretty steep here, and this will gets pretty hectic in the winter time. Eventually we'll be you know, driving all the way up here midwinter. So yeah, just want to push everything over a bit more, leave more room for snow removal, and then yeah, go from there. But I'm just gonna find my dog. I can't find Mowgli, but I'll keep going. He'll come up, he always does. So yeah, I land this thing super fast into this jump. This is all just like pretty downhill. I think this jump I can make way bigger now that I've kind of figured it out. But yeah, you know, you're coming pretty fast through here. This little speed jump, I want to make this way bigger. It can probably be, the takeoff could probably be back here, and then goes into this mega berm. Oh, this landing is looking awesome. Yeah, and this goes into this mega berm, which I'll put some photos up of how I built this, but this took forever as well. And then again, in the end, finally bit the bullet and got a machine in here to help me with the dirt, but that goes up here into this step up, and this step up works so well. But there were definitely some times last year when after I got comfortable and everything that I was completely missing this whole landing, like over clearing the whole thing, which is a pretty big jump as it is, but I was landing, you know, all the way down here where these rocks are. But so basically what that means is I have the speed to be able to make this lip way steeper and make this landing way bigger. And all of these rocks are here because I had to get a machine in here to dig some septic holes, which we'll see in a second. But yeah, eventually this landing will be a lot higher, which will be great because it just means you have more speed coming into this next zone. And I haven't done anything in this zone, and there's a pretty good reason. It's because I need to do my septic. So basically this is one septic hole, and there's another one all the way over at the other side of those trees, and basically from there to there will be my septic field. So this big pile of dirt will be gone, and the septic will be all through in here, and it's going to be about 6 feet wide but 100 feet long. But I can't build any more jumps until I have the septic done, because obviously the machinery needs to get around, and it's going to be pretty stupid if they can't get in because of these jumps I've built. But it has been really hard for me not to build these jumps because there's a lot more area. Basically after this jump, I'm kind of thinking a little speed bump, like a speed jump to generate more speed and get settled. And then in here, kind of where I'm standing, just a fat set of dirt jumps. And kind of taking you straight this way, past, going straight through those trees. So those trees will come out, and then there's probably a good 200 or 300 feet of downhill after that that will eventually just be jumps. So yeah, tons of potential for jumps, but that's all I've done right now. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm really hoping this summer to get the septic in. I have the plans all finalized for that, so that'll be massive. And now I've got the well up top. That's basically the last tick that I need before I can start building. So yeah, we're getting there slowly. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mess, but once upon a time I thought I'd be living in this. But so I think it was 2017 or 2018, I got this bus, brought it up here and built this shelter around it. And unfortunately someone in the community complained to the city about it, and technically you're not allowed to live on your property unless you have running water and septic, which I didn't know at the time. So yeah, since then I basically just left the whole thing on hold. So it's just been sitting here for 5 years. Still been holding up pretty well for the snow. But yeah, it's one of those things that didn't work out. Luckily I didn't invest too much money or time into it. But yeah, I was really looking forward to having a couple years where I lived in this bus, but didn't work out that way. And maybe in the future I'll finish it once they're all done and rent it out or something. I don't really know yet. Maybe I'll get rid of it and build more jumps down here. But this is the other septic hole, so it just goes from here to here. So once all that's done, it's gonna kind of really change the bottom of this, and I can clean everything up a lot. And yeah, I think it'll just be a lot better. Got my sled. Then yeah, looking up here at these jumps, so you can really see. Oh, there he is. Mowgli, where have you been? Come on. Good boy. So yeah, you can really see how big that landing is from down here. It's absolutely massive. But yeah, eventually it'll all be done. I want to get a machine in here to really build this landing up so we could start hitting this drop on bikes. It's probably a bit above my skill level right now, but I definitely know a couple of friends that would hit that, and I think if I see someone hit it, I might start considering it. But what's life if you're not pushing yourself? So I kind of want to do that. I also see eventually this other jump from up here down into this valley with a takeoff somewhere around here, and then jumping all the way to that little crest, and on the other side of that there's just a massive natural landing. I think that'll be the best jump on the property, or the biggest, or definitely be the biggest. But yeah, I'm not going to start that, I don't think, until I build a house. Which is a huge part of me just wants to drop all this money on machine time and do all of that, but I got to be mature about it and start putting money towards my house. But getting there, definitely getting there. Hey Mowgli? Mowgli? He's a good boy. So about 4 or 5 years ago, before I really had any idea what I was doing with this property, I built this walking path. And you can see I've neglected it. All of these rocks are falling down because I got a machine to push out this top entertainment area. But the walking path actually works really well. Just got a lot of rock on it right now. And then this big slope here is just the most perfect landing ever in the winter for ski jumps. And once I get the septic in there and flatten all that out, it's just gonna be way better. So I'll go to a clip right now of what this looks like in the winter. So we built some pretty nice jumps up here. And the exciting thing about that is that eventually, when my house is up in this forest up here, this jump right here will basically be, you know, you'll be sitting on your deck watching people hit this, which I'm super excited about. And that was one of the main reasons I bought this property. It's just how it had all these perfect natural landings, like just a slope for jumps is perfect. So yeah, it's kind of what I've been doing, but I'm super excited about it. I can't wait till it's all finished. And I've been thinking about kind of documenting this for a long time and doing proper YouTube style, and just kind of realized that I just got to do it. Stop thinking about it and just start doing it. So that's kind of why I'm making these, and hopefully you guys like them. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I want to do. So yeah, so we got this fire pit here. I move all of the stumps over there before the winter starts, just to help start packing the snow up for the jump. But this whole area here, I got a machine to come in and kind of flatten out. It used to be pretty undulated, but now it's working pretty well. Eventually I want to put like a gazebo / like barbecue area over here, and with the idea that in the winter time you'll be able to come down this way, jump onto the roof, jump down into here, which I think would definitely go. Pretty excited about that, but that's low on the priority list. But yeah, you can really see the size of these jumps from down here. Like, this landing is massive. So yeah, in the winter time, the main jump starts at that rock up there, just comes straight down here into that jump right where those logs are, into that big landing that we just looked at. I'll come back up here. But you'll see, like, this view here is the same as in this clip. Oh, that was so sick. So that landing is just perfect. It's unbelievable. I'm so stoked to have that. And that's kind of what it looks like in the summertime. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy watching it with me. And yeah, see where we get.